Unpleasant things come to us only when we're stuck, when we don't do what we truly feel. It's great when a woman fulfills herself, but she must make a note that she's not a workhorse. Her task is to truly enjoy her work. She'll find that money will follow. Guys, make absolutely sure that you are living in your own true place. How can you tell if you're living in your own true place? You'll have so much energy.
Alexander, you often mention that money represents a concentrated form of masculine energy. But how exactly does this work for a woman who earns her own living? Is she, in that process, utilizing her masculine side? And if that is indeed the case, doesn't it then potentially undermine her feminine energy?
It all depends entirely on whether or not she has a man. That's it. A direct answer, right? And to this day, she, of course, went alone. Well, the question is whether she has sex, goes on dates with men, and whether she is sincere, open, vulnerable, with a sense of humor, positive, easygoing, unpredictable, driven, and adventurous. And then, let's say it's fine. I mean, I think after all, you also make money, right? A lot of my acquaintances make money. But simply, if they maintain their sexual energy, if they are full of drive, excitement, sincerity, kindness, tenderness, humor, and love, well, overall, I think it's cool when a woman achieves her goals. She just needs to acknowledge to herself that she is not a beast of burden. She is not the one who has to earn for the mortgage or for the family's financial security. That is not her primary responsibility. Her main task is to truly enjoy her work, and she will discover that the money will naturally follow. But the important point is not just working, but bringing creativity and joy to the process. Then, financially, it will be good. Personal life will be wonderful, and there will be a good connection with the kids. And what if we're like a victim, like a consumer out of fear? What if I suddenly have no reason to, well, how will I pay for the apartment or something else? But again, well, it should be said in such cases that, guys, watch very closely to ensure you live in your location. How to determine that you live in your location? There's an immense, almost overwhelming amount of energy. It's a state where you feel like energy is just surging through your entire being.
Suppose we've received money from a person with negative energy, and it's quite evident that these funds are imbued with a negative charge. What can be done to transform this energy into something positive, and then spend the money on a truly constructive purpose?
Listen, folks, the question is whether that person enjoyed what you did. It's not about the money, but about the feeling with which they gave it to you. That's it. Well, that's why I'm saying, folks, if you feel sorry for the money, or you earn it with difficulty, don't come to me for consultations. We clearly state, don't come. Why? It's very straightforward. Even I, who is quite knowledgeable in all these matters, I understand that later, on my own energy field, problems will begin to form, and this money will attract difficulties of its very own nature. So I'm saying, come to me from a place of abundance. It's true, some people share their joy with each other. 3, 5, 7, 10 people gather, pay for a web, and sit there with a bottle, maybe even more than one, of wine, and listen to us. On a big screen somewhere. But at least you did it, and you found some enjoyment in it. And that's really all there is to it, wouldn't you say? And since it's not feasible for the whole group to come to the consultation, because each person would only get 2 or 3 words, which isn't justified, it's better to just read posts and watch videos. Because I say that we provide the best, the most updated, the highest quality, and the most effective information, and we often test it on ourselves before posting it. That's how we do it.
Listen, for instance, I know some negative people who generally don't like to spend money, even if they understand that it's necessary and that it's high quality and cool, like a product or service. They just never enjoy parting with their money.
Listen, this is what I would definitely call toxic people. And that's why I, for example, if I have the opportunity to do so, I simply refuse to cooperate with them, to work with them, or to do anything at all for them.
But what if they've already received the money? I'm still wondering.
Listen, please thank them, and let this truly be the best possible outcome for them. Well, let's just say, for instance, that I experience some difficulties, and those difficulties are then somehow transferred over there. Well, what I'm essentially saying is, I'm the one who ends up paying for these problems. Yes, that's
With
right.
all that
And
money,
it's
right?
particularly upsetting when a significant problem arises, such as a car breaking down or something else entirely. Well, it's one of those things. You think, damn it, I wish you just hadn't shown up, and I could have kept driving normally. But then again, we are grateful. It was the best option out of all the possibilities. So we needed a lesson, so that we wouldn't be afraid of all this. And if it has already worked out, then we should be truly grateful to God. Because you see, from all the many possible scenarios, the one that we genuinely deserve has actually come to fruition.
So, what happens if we, let's say, well, a very common process is to claim, for example, penalties for overdue deadlines, like in construction, contracts, or something else? Or, for instance, to penalize competitors who really, for example, leaked information or did something bad like that.
Listen to me.
If it goes through court, let's say, then it becomes some sort of buffer zone, the very same one, which
The most important thing is that within you, there should be love, gratitude, and the understanding that this person is merely your instrument. You have energetically paid them for them to act this way towards you. And it's important to thank him and wish him love for pointing out what I need to work on. Because that's how I'm treated if I show weakness somewhere. That's all. If we have an inner core, if we possess strength, and we are truly living our purpose, then we are always paid on time, and everything works out perfectly for us. Yes, periodically our resilience is tested. They check our bank accounts, our cards, and conduct tax audits. But when you're ready to die, when you're ready to lose, when you're ready to let go, when you're ready for all possible options, but you keep thanking them and wishing them love, because you are the one who brought on that tax audit. You brought on those bank checks. That then reduces the overall effectiveness, well, let's call it, of negativity. The effectiveness of negativity, if one can express it in such specific terms, yes? And it significantly enhances your own personal qualities. This means that, on a physical level, something unpleasant only comes our way when we make mistakes, when we fail to act upon what we truly feel deep inside. And often, I even read comments where someone is unfairly fired from work, a pregnant woman. And I understand that there is such a promising opportunity. That such sweethearts can come, and you can miss them if you are angry at these people who are already doing everything for you to move forward.
how can you tell when something has truly stopped resonating, as opposed to just feeling tired or facing a temporary crisis? Sometimes you feel like giving everything up, but it's unclear if it's a sign for change or just burnout.
Listen, it's easy to see when it's burnout and when it's a signal for change. Like, burnout happens to us when we do something monotonously and don't level up. When we level up, for me, it can last a day at most. Well, I just know that this is a transition because there's a really crucial moment. The feeling that you are absolutely nobody. Your name means nothing at all. You can't do a single thing. You haven't accomplished anything. All your results, they are completely meaningless. You are just an empty space, and you will simply die. And because you can't even fry an egg, and you can't even, pay a single bill. This is the whole picture, yes. This means the old laws, all of them, are passing. I thank you. I am ready to die. I am dying. Life is beautiful. Well, everything is done mechanically, of course, meaning you can't do it any other way. And it all goes through very quickly.
So, it turns out that if a person does not add 12% of novelty to their work, they experience burnout. But if they add even a small percentage of novelty, changes happen on their own naturally.
Yes. And naturally, there's this very important concept that we absolutely must ensure that our social interactions and leisure activities are kept private. Well, if it's just work, guys, you're definitely going to burn out, even if you're constantly making progress. You need to understand that you're working only to have the opportunity to do something else somewhere. Friends, hobbies, interests, all the rest. Yet, it's cool when you're enjoying your work, coming in, and enjoying being here. When you enjoy yourself at home, your enjoyment outside of work enhances your work, and your enjoyment at work enhances the enjoyment you'll get at home. But if you don't allow yourself any pleasure, if you don't set aside time to truly enjoy yourself when you're supposed to be off work because you're constantly working, then these scales, they just stop functioning properly. They simply break down. And that's when burnout inevitably begins. That's exactly what happens. And it doesn't matter. You can spend too much time just resting at home and not get any work done. And that will also lead to an imbalance. And let's say your work will start to fall apart and you'll start to feel depressed from doing nothing. So here you need to feel and maintain a balance and understand that sometimes there are bursts of concentration when you're just, working, and then bam, you go somewhere to relax for a couple of weeks, unwind, and enjoy. That's working, but only for pleasure. But it's better this way. I understand what I know, you see, and that is how I do things. And to some people, it looks absolutely terrible. I will not start doing anything at all if I do not really want to and if I do not like it.